Hello folks, I'm here to do a video this morning on changing your ileostomy bag and and give you some tips of things I've had to learn along the way for the last 6 months. I'm having mine reversed this morning, and hopefully this will be the last time I have to change it before that. As you can see, I watched a YouTube video on the various things. Here, and this video is for also some of y'all. Most videos you see on YouTube on stomas, people with a flat belly. And most of the time, they're young and they're good looking. I'm not going to show you my face, but I'll show you my little buddy down here. So this one, as you can see, is starting to leak. It'll be leaking before the day's over with. I probably could make it to surgery, but I'm going to go ahead and change it this morning. Usually the first thing I'll do, and it took me a while to figure this out, I keep all my supplies in a travel kit in the bathroom. A couple other things, well, I'll show you as I go. The type of bag I use is a chloroplast, and it's you see this, it's star shaped. It's not perfectly round. And once you put it on, you invert it, and it fits right around someone with a larger belly. Turn it sideways, maybe you can see it a little better. And I had to call the factory to find out about these. I usually go ahead and fold this end up before I get started, just so there's not as much dangling waste. And I also will give it a tuck under. So we'll set this aside for right now. And this is something we may get a surprise out of mine this morning. It just burped at me a minute ago. So I usually will put a paper towel or a towel and just tuck it under either my underwear or today I got sweat britches on. So, and I already got my bag and my trash can sitting right in front of me. Now they give you bags with every box of these. And I don't know if you see right here, you can see it's already puckered up a little bit. Let me see if I can zoom in. Puckered up and coming loose from the skin right here. And I've got extra adhesive piece of tape on right here that really helps keep it on. Zoom out here a little bit. So now I think we're ready to, well, first thing, let me get everything out of the bag. I've got my wax ring. This is my bags, my trash bags, lay them to the side. I use Stoma adhesive, about like toothpaste or about like caulking if you're a handyman. Got my scissors to cut my size of my hole. I'll go ahead and get me 3 of these extra adhesive patches out. Also, I found this, and I had to call the factory to find this. It's called, I know it's backwards, but I believe we can read backwards. This is really good stuff. to put on the last thing before you put your bag on. We'll talk a bit more about it later. And also I have, look into the bag. I've got some right up here in the windowsill. Non-sting barrier wipes. That's really good to clean around the stoma with. That should be all I need. Also I've used stoma adhesive powder, but also if the fluid gets next to your skin, it'll cause a sore place. And believe me, I've experienced that. I've got that stuff, and also got this stuff that comes in a blue tube. It's called Marathon. I bought this off of Amazon. It's expensive, but it's really, really good. If you get those red blotches around the outside your stoma on your skin, it almost heals it up immediately. Okay, let's get started here. The first thing we do is take off the bag. And I'm about to go and have some run out. You've probably seen it because it was about to start leaking. I usually inspect it to see where my leak was and what caused it. Can't really tell right here. I'll throw this away. Also, I have a warm, wet washcloth. I say warm. I like warm better than I do cold to do this with. Then I'll take the washcloth and I'll clean around this little buddy here. Now, you see I'm rubbing pretty hard. If you just had if your stoma's new, it's angry. It don't like this at all. Anytime you touch it, it hurts, starts bleeding. But you get a month or so under your belt, it starts getting toughened up. And you see here, the hair is grown back around next to the stoma. Well, can't stop that. And I normally will take a razor and I'll cut it. But yet, since I'm having mine reversed today, they don't want you to shave this stuff before you go to the hospital. I think I've done the wash rag. Next I take, sometimes they tell you not to use, but what's the most absorbent thing you have in your bathroom? Just toilet paper. And I'll take the toilet paper, and I'll dry off the water from the wet washcloth. And throw that right in the commode. Then I'll take another one. As you see, I've got liquid coming out here. I've been on a liquid diet for the last 20 hours just to get ready for my surgery. Now I found these are a whole lot easier to change. See, look at there, it's starting to come out. If you got solids coming out. Solids is a whole lot easier to handle. I'll clean that off, or I'll just leave that on there just a second. And what I found is that they sent these home with me from the hospital. They call them sponge gauzes. And why I do this is, one is, of course, being raised in the country, an old farm boy, you don't waste. You try not to waste anything. So what I do is usually cut one in half. Then I'll have one for next time, or may have to have two on this adventure. And what I'll do, I'll take this, take off the toilet tissue. I know you may get a little squeamish with this stuff, but after a time or two, it's kind of like changing the baby's diaper. You kind of get used to stuff coming out of you. I see that's still a little bit wet. So I'm still going to take some toilet tissue and wipe one more time. The next thing I'll do, I'll take these, show you, they're called Safe and Simple No Sting Barrier Film Wipes. And throw the package away. Open this little doobie up. Then I'll wipe around here to do an extra cleaning. Also, this has got some little chemical in it that aids in the adhesion. So after I got that done, let that thing sit here just a second. Time I get this done, and we told you about these all care wipes. Sometimes I can tear these open, but most of the time I found it easier since I got my scissors here. I'll just take and cut around them, cut them open. These are extremely moist. Open this doobie up here. Throw my package away. These things open up like this, about as wide as what your pouch is. I just take it and wipe it all around on both sides, all around the stoma. What this does, it's going to cause a barrier on the skin. Almost like it sits up like plaster around there, pretty hard. It makes it easier for the glue on your pouch to stick to it. Then the next thing I'm going to do while that's drying, I don't know if you can notice that, you'll see, I take this off, my stoma is oval. And so I'm sure y'all seen these things here, and I'm going to cut it out. And I just biding time to let my belly get dry. And I'm a 35 on the sides, but a 40 on top and bottom. But I usually overcut it just a little bit. I found if you cut this thing just exactly to the T, I don't like how they behave. I told you I was a 40 at the top and bottom, so I have to cut an oval. I go down here on the bottom and cut to the big blue line. I get out past the bottom. I'll come up here to right past the little dotted line. Hope you can see this. Just trust me. That's what I'm doing. And come up here on the 40 centimeter or millimeter, or what it is, on top. Hadn't done metric in a while. And there you go. You'll see why in a minute if it's a little bit too big, it won't really matter. You just lay this right here. Next thing I'll do, I'll get my wax ring. How's my little buddy doing down there? He's quiet. We like it when they stay quiet. Somebody told me how to do this initially, but I found a better way. Got the wax ring. So I need to take this out to the same size of my stone opening. First thing I do, I'll stick a finger right through that hole and I just start turning that thing. Once I get it big enough for my thumb, I'll start getting my thumb in there. I'll start going around and around. After you've done it long enough, you know about what size it needs to be. And you can stretch it just a little bit for that. You can always take your opening, put it right over it and say, hey, that's pretty close. Hey, you got that one close that time. Then I guess we're ready to put our thing. Let me talk about this adhesive powder. If you got you'll know if you'll have real blotchy red dots around here. And that's where the acid of your small intestines has hit the skin and irritated. And this is a powder. I usually shake it up and then you dust it. Kind of like dusting beans. I don't know if you can see that stuff go out there or not. But you put a really light coat on it. Then the other stuff I've had, the stuff I talked about a minute ago, this stuff, you break it open, the liquid, and this is a sponge here on top, and you just dab it on it, you paint it. And here's this skin prep I have used. I'll go ahead and put some on right now. I usually leave my thing on here, my turtleneck or my dickie on there, and you spray this stuff all around your stomach. And what it is, it'll give you an extra little skin prep adhesive. Now it stings a little bit, folks. That's why I leave the wrap on there. And I believe we're ready. Put the pouch on. So first thing I do, you can see this thing here, and you always keep it back like this and peel it off. Let me lay this right here on my leg. Something you can do right here is take it, put this right over your hole, and say, hey, it's gonna fit. And the most important thing is, you throw that away and put my other one on here. See, that's why you have two. While I'm getting ready, is keep your skin dry. If there's just a little bit of moisture, if anything weeps out of there and drips down this part, this won't stick. I've went through 5 bags in 4 hours before, in the middle of the night. It's not a fun process. Next thing I do is talk about this Stoma paste. And what this is kind of like I say caulking, about as thick as toothpaste. And what I do is I believe it's gotten hard on me right here on the beginning. Let me take that little bit off. And I put me a line of Stoma paste right along the edge. All the way around, just a thin layer. You say, well, why are you doing that? Well, it works for me. If it works for you, you use it. So you will also it will be on top of your wax ring. So let's see how we did here. Time to get the turtleneck off. Keep it dry, fill in there, make sure it's still dry. I take this wax ring and invert it. Sometimes you may have to stretch it a little bit, but it goes right over that thing, over my little buddy down there. Everybody needs to give them a pet name. Then I'm ready to put my pouch on. Here I found you make sure you get over where my hole's on top. I don't know if everybody's hole's on top. I've never seen anybody put mine before. But I put mine on and make sure the top of it is not covering my hole. Then I start pressing down, right around the stoma, right over the wax ring. Make sure I've got a good seal. And at that point, we can take this paper towel off now. Then I come down underneath, and I like to stretch my skin. Or I like to pull my bag down a little bit and stretch my skin. Because the worst thing you can have is a wrinkle. And watch this thing, when it hits your skin, it's going to stick. Then I start rubbing my hand around here and flatten it out. Get everything just tied to my skin. And I showed you these things a while ago. I'll put one on just to show you. It's I don't know what it's called. It's an extra strip. Now this thing, it's either semicircle. Now if you let these touch together, it's just like duct tape. You'll never get them apart. You see, it's a semicircle. And what you do, just place it right around this thing and put it around here. See, look how I got a wrinkle on it. That ain't good, but once it hits the skin, it's there. I'll try to flatten this thing out. Now they recommend you to put your hand over it and heat it up. I tell you what I do. I've got one of the things, we call them chickens. They're not chickens, but they smell like chickens when you heat them in the microwave. It's these heat bags you put in the microwave, heat up. You got a sore muscle or anything, you'll go in there. These heat up to, I don't know what temperature, something over 100, 120 degrees. 2 minutes in my microwave does it. Then I'll lay it over here. And what that'll do, it melts that paste, it melts the wax, gives everything adhesive to the skin. It helps the adhesiveness of your pouch to your skin. And I've had a lot better luck up with it. You can see now, I don't know if you can see this, but the paste has come up here and already dissolving and done that. So, but here we go. I'm not going to make you wait 2 minutes, but we're finished. When I came home from the hospital, they sent me home with round stoma things, and they don't have very much surface area. See, my belly button, this one curves right around and missing my belly button. Now, if you're an outie, I'm an innie. If you got an outie, you may have to cut a little notch around your house. I usually like to do another final check, make sure there's no creases in there. A crease is the worst thing you can have, because that's where it's going to leak. And got these these filters here. Well, in my opinion, the filters aren't worth a flop, unless you never lay down, or if you never let your bag get over this full. Because what happens, these filters, if you get any liquid up here, it's going to stop these filters up. Hey, that's my stoma lesson for the day. And hopefully this will be the last one I got to change the rest of my life. So anyway, thank you all for viewing this. And if you really like me, hit the like button. If you believe this is my first YouTube video, it's Something else I've done, I would wear these nylon sweatshirts and keep it down there. And I found out the worst thing, where you wear your seatbelt. You gotta wear your seatbelt under it or over it. Most times I wear mine under it, because I found a lot of times that seatbelt might irritate this bottom seal. And also I figured out that I don't need to wear a belt. I went to wearing suspenders, because I know that the belt will rub in here and irritate that. Just things I've learned. But thank y'all for viewing me. This is the old boy from East Tennessee. And I was really, when I had my surgery, I told that doc, I said, "Doc, don't you give me a bag." But you know, he didn't have a choice. And I thought it was going to be really bad, but it wasn't near as bad as what I had imagined it would be. So thank y'all. And again, I saw it on YouTube video. Now I've made it my first YouTube video. Hope this helps. Somebody can take some hint away from this, and hope it help you. Another thing let me say, my local people I talked to was not a lot of help to me. Healthcare people, even the people who I bought my supplies from. You know, until you go through it, till you have one, people don't know what it's like, day in, day out. I did have one stoma nurse whose husband had one, so she had a lot better insight than a lot of others. But my best, I'm using the Chloroplast brand, and when I called, and I called them, I think their office is in Wisconsin. Those people knows what they're talking about up there. There's one who led me some of these other products I had no idea that they had. So anyway, I may have to add to this, I think, of something else once I watch it. But thank y'all for viewing with me this morning. It's 10 till 5. Bye. Well, I didn't finish something. I told you about this heat thing we put in the microwave to heat up. They got little bitty plastic balls in there. I leave it over the bag on the stoma till I feel the heat on the skin. Then that's about all you can do. Thank you. Another item I forgot. I actually fixed me 2 more travel bags and put in each our vehicle, with about 5 pouches in each bag, to where that if you're out and that thing comes loose, and it will come loose, you got it. It's bad and you're away from home and don't have one. I experienced that too. We was on vacation, and I got left in the motel. My pouch did. My pouch, my whole bag. That was not an ugly sight. I even tried to put duct tape around it, but it wouldn't hold it on. One other thing I found out that's really nice, I bought a bidet to add to my commode. You sit on the commode backwards, when you empty your pouch, you turn the bidet on and let the water squirt up in the pouch. It really makes a great big difference. And these bidets are cheap.